Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Jazakumullah ahsanul jaza for arriving on time. Welcome to G3 Hifz-ul-Qur'an class today. And today, inshallah, we're going to start with our class with prayer. First, I would like to remind everyone to make sure that your ID is correct. Only then will you be asked to come and recite in the mic. Okay, so first we are going to recite the prayer. Can I please have a student for prayer?
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. I'm going to
Walaikum
invite
salam.
G3562.
G3562, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
How are you?
Good.
Can you recite with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah the following prayer that you can see on the screen together with the English translation?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم ارحم اللهم إني أسألك
Ilman
علما
nafi'an.
نافعا.
Jazakallah. Can you read the English translation?
O Allah, I ask you for beneficial knowledge.
Jazakallah. Ahsanul jaza. Can I have another student for prayer?
Yes, G3554.
G3554, Assalamu alaikum. G3554, are you there?
I can't open the mic, so.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Is this G3554?
Yes.
Okay, can you start the prayer with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا. Oh Allah, I ask you for beneficial knowledge.
Jazakallah, ahsanul jaza. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so the reason I asked two people to recite this prayer is because it's a very beneficial knowledge prayer, and it's very good for us. I wanted to point out an important part in this prayer is that we can see vertical fatha over here, which means for 2 seconds we have to prolong. And we can also see mim mushaddad, which is, it's a haruf gunna. So we have to do nasal sound for 2 seconds as well, as you can see. So it will be read as Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a. So that's the only things that I wanted to mention. So moving on, today is lesson number 20, and we are going to do Surah Rahman, verse 34. We will practice today that. And before I start the lesson, just want to go through the class etiquettes, which again, I'm sure you all know. So things that I want to reiterate is to be please in a quiet place with parental supervision so that they can help you. And please have your correct ID, because then only we can call you on the mic. If you have your name, we won't be able to call you. So please present the correct ID that's given to you. So for today, the rule in focus we have is ikhfa, which means concealing. Ikhfa is an Arabic word which means to conceal or to hide. And ikhfa, what we are in this rule, what we are hiding or what we are concealing is noon sakin. And noon sakin, as you know, is noon that carries a sukoon. Okay, just like here, we can see this is an example of noon sakin. And noon tanween, so carrying a tanween. So any letter that has a fathatain, that's two tanweens, or fatha, or kasratain, or dammatain. So that's the two rules the characters that we are focusing on, the two strokes. So if Noon Sakin or Noon Tanween is followed by any letter other than the 7 letters of Izhar. So what is Izhar? Izhar means to manifest. Izhar means to clearly pronounce. So it's kind of like opposite of ikhfa. So what are the letters for them? Alif, Hamza, Ha, Ain, Ha, Ghain, Kha. So also known as huruf halqi, because these are also throat letters. So whenever we have these letters, and before these letters, if a noon sakin, once again, we are following this rule. If the noon sakin or noon tanween comes before is huruf izhar, then we won't produce any nasal sounds. We will read the noon sakin or noon tanween clearly. So today's lesson, ikhfa means to conceal, which means we will produce nasal sound. So any noon sakin or noon tanween is followed by any letters other than the 7 letters of izhar, 1 letter of iqlab. So iqlab means to exchange, and the letter of iqlab is ba. So again, if a meme comes before that, that's a separate rule, then we will produce a nasal sound, but not when ba comes after noon sakin or noon tanween. And the other letters are mushaddad letters. So when noon sakin or noon tanween comes, before mushaddad letters, then the sound, not the mushaddad letters, we won't produce any nasal sound, but any other letter apart from these letters, then the sound of noon should be concealed with a light nasal sound for 2 seconds. So we'll make a new nasal sound for that, a prolonged nasal sound for 2 seconds. So again, just to reiterate, we have haruf izhar, the 7 letters that when they come, we will not produce a nasal sound for noon sakin or noon tanween. Now again, another rule that you already may know is idgham. Idgham means to merge and or to assimilate. Ya, noon, mim, waw, ra, la. So 6 letters of idgham. The abbreviation which we have learned is yar maloon. And out of those 6 letters of these 4, ya, noon, mim, waw, also known by the abbreviation yanmu, we will make partial merging, partial idgham, which means 2-second gunna. That's again gunna for noon sakin and gunna for noon tanween. However, if there is ra and la, we will merge them without a noon gunna. But for today in focus, we have ikhfa. So as you can see these letters on the screen, so any letter that comes that's not mentioned here we can produce a nasal sound. For example, we have examples here. So for example, we have alif here. So wal insi, okay, and this alif comes before the noon sakin. So that's why we will produce a nasal sound. And then we have fudu. So here, over here we are looking at seen because this is before the noon sakin. Okay, so seen is not, you cannot see seen over here, and that's why we will produce a nasal sound for this noon sakin. Wal insi, at least for 2 seconds. I'm going very quickly, but we have to recite at least for 2 prolonged seconds. Again, the reason being, after noon sakin, we can see ta. And after this noon sakin, we can see fa. And it's not, as you can see there, it's not a letter of izhar. It's not a letter of idgham. It's not a letter of iqlab. Therefore, we can easily produce a 2-second nasal sound. Similarly, we have over here, la tanfudun. And before that, fanfudu, because we have fa here before noon sakin. And again, we have fa here before noon sakin, which means we can produce a 2-second nasal sound. The thing to remember again is that after Nun Sakin or Nun Tanween, any letter that's mentioned here, we will not produce nasal sound. And the most important points to remember are Huruf Izhar, because that's the most common mistake. If you see after Nun Sakin Alif, or you see Hamza, or Ha, or Ain, or Ha, Ghain, and Kha. Kha. So these, please do not produce any nasal sound. That's the most important thing. And of course, Ra and La. So moving on, we will start today's lesson. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So I have highlighted the examples of حروف إخفاء that we have over here, the examples of the rule of إخفاء. So I'll quickly recite. يا معشر الجن والإنس إن استطعتم أن تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانفذوا لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان. Okay, so here we have example of haruf ikhfa, not ikhfa, sorry, haruf izhar. You can see alif, and before alif we have nun sakin. So nun sakin following alif. Alif, again, if I go back to the screen, to the slide, just to show you, alif here is an example of haruf izhar, to manifest, and we will recite it clearly. We'll recite the nun sakin clearly. And that's why you didn't hear any nasal sound when I recited it. In this verse 34, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 examples of haruf ikhfa. Why? Because they are not the letters of izhar, they're not the letters of assimilation, idgham, they're not the letters of ba, iqlab. So seen, so nun sakin following seen, 2-second nasal sound. Again, nun sakin following ta, nun sakin following the fa, and again nun sakin following another fa, and again nun sakin following another fa. We will produce nasal sound. Translation: in the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful, O company of jinn and men, if you have power to go beyond the confines of the heavens and the earth, then do go, but you cannot go except with authority. So now moving on, we will go to the translation, split word translation. Ya ma'ashara, O company, al-jinni, of jinn, wal-insi, and men. In istata'atum, if you have power, an tanfudhu, that you can go beyond. Min aqtari, the confines of. As-samawati, the heavens. Wal-ardi, and the earth. Fanfudhu, then do go. La tanfudhun, but you cannot go. Illa, except. Bisultanin, with authority. So now I will ask someone to recite. Can I have a student to recite for me, please?
Yes, next one is going to be G3529.
G3529, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Can you recite the following words starting with ta'awuz and tasmiyah?
Which was
The one here you can see in the screen.
34.
Yes, 34.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا معشر الجن والإنس إن استطعتم أن خذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانخذوا لا تن لا تن
لا تنفذون
لا تنفذون
إلا.
إلا بسلطان.
Good. So can you give me an example from here in where we have to produce nasal sound? You know, the ruling focus, the ikhfa, like from, let's say, can you see any from the beginning?
The well Nessie
Well, insi, good. So this one, excellent.
and in Miss.
Okay, this is not noon sakin. So moving on. Yes, good, excellent. And are we gonna do nasal sound here or no?
I don't think so.
Excellent, absolutely correct. Because of the alif, yeah? Haruf
Yeah.
izhar, good. And any other examples you can see?
And the bottom line.
Yes.
Well, no.
Yes, over
Fun.
here. Yes, excellent. La tan over here. Yes. Good. Jazakallah jaza. Excellent. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Okay, next, can I have another student, please?
G3530.
G3530. Assalamu alaikum. G353. Assalamu alaikum. Can you recite verse 34, starting with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah?
On the floor. Can it be called after?
Okay. Okay. Can I have another student, please?
Okay. G3519.
G3519. Assalamu alaikum. G3519. Walaikum salam. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I can hear some background noise. Is it possible for you to be in another room? Yeah, now it's okay. Can you recite starting with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah?
Yes. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا معشر الجن والإنس إن استطعتم أن تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانفذوا لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان.
Jazakallah. Masanal Jaza, very well recited. And I also liked that you produced a nasal sound because this is Noon Mushaddad. And we produce, how many seconds do we say the nasal sound for?
2 seconds.
Yes, very good. So this is Harufi Gunna and 2 seconds. And just one correction would be wal ardi, not z. Okay? Jazakallah jaza. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Can I have another student, please?
Next one is going to be G3601.
G3601. Assalamu alaikum. G3601.
Shall we call the next one?
Yeah.
G3607.
G3607. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Is this G3607?
Yes.
Good. Can you start this verse starting with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah?
Yes. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا معشر الجن والإنس إن استطعتم أن تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانفذوا لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان.
Jazakallah. Excellent recitation. Very good. Assalamu alaikum. So can I have another student?
Yes, G3538.
G3538. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, next one is going to be G3512.
G3512.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Is this G3512?
Yes.
Okay, Jazakallah. Can you start the recitation with beginning from Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا معشر الجن والإنس إن استطعتم أن تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانفذوا لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان.
Jazakallah khair. Mashallah, very well recited. And one thing that I really loved was your waqf because it was point on. So for the rest of the students, I didn't tell them to do waqf because this is a Hifz class. But you know, the excellent rule of tajweed is this verse for even me is very long. And that's why it's even better if you do waqf. So for example, the student here did waqf here. And when you do waqf in the middle, then you recite at least 2 words behind and recite it again. So they did waqf here as well. And then again, they recited from min aqtar. So mashallah, very well recited. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Okay, so now what we are going to do is start our Hifz practice. And as you know, we are almost in verse number 34. We are going to be practicing Hifz from verse number 1 till 33. And for that reason, we have a lot of students. I want to invite as many students to come on the mic. Therefore, I will only listen to your Hifz no matter how many verses you have done. And then I'll stop you there so I can give time to another student. So if you have done, let's say 4 or 10 or whatever number of verses, that's completely fine. And we will just stop it there and then give other people chance. For those who do not know any verse, then maybe I can ask you to recite today's lesson. So requesting the support teacher for a student ID, please, for Hifz practice.
Yes, G3535.
G3535, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
How are you?
I'm fine.
So can I ask you to recite from the beginning of Surah Rahman, starting with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah, until whatever verse number you know by heart?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تكسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذي العشب والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجن من مارج من نار فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان مرج البحرين
رب المشرقين
رب المشرقين ورب المغربين فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. That's all I know.
Okay, Maraj al-Bahraini. Because you were reciting this verse, so I thought maybe you would know.
مرج البحرين يلتقيان.
Excellent, mashallah. So do you know verse 20 till verse 20? That's really good, actually, mashallah. So inshallah, keep revising and reciting, and we are in verse 34, so you have 14 other verses to remember as well. Yeah, so keep trying, inshallah. Okay, jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum. Can I have another student, please, for Hifz
Next
practice?
one is going to be G3542.
G3542. Assalamu alaikum. G3542. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, can I have another student?
Yes.
Walaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum. Is this G3542?
Yeah.
Okay, jazakallah. Can you start the Hifz practice from Surah Rahman, verse number 1, starting with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah?
Pardon?
So it's Hifz practice. How many verses have you learned for Surah Rahman?
I'm not
He-
sure. Around
He has learned 11.
Okay, very good. Can you start from the beginning and recite? Start with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والهب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان رب المشرقين ورب المغربين فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يخرج منهما اللؤلؤ والمرجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان وله الجوار
المنشآت. Okay, so mashallah, 24 verses, so that's very good. That's excellent. So you have only like 10 verses left to revise and learn.
That's all I know.
But that's very good, Jazakallah. So keep revising and practicing. So inshallah, next time when I listen to you, I want you to be on point, okay? Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Can my brother read?
What's your brother's ID?
What's the ID?
G3543.
G3543.
Okay, G3543. Assalamu alaikum. G3543. Are you there?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Can you start the Hifz practice from the beginning, starting with the A'udhu and Tasmiyah?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان
والأرض وضعها
والأرض وضعها للأنام فبأي
فيها فاكهة
والنخل ذات الأكمام والهب ذو الأسف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجن من مارج من نار فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان مرج البحرين يلتقيان
رب المشرقين
ورب المغربين فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان
يخرج
يخرج
منهما
منهما اللؤلؤ. Wait, never mind. That's all I know up to.
Okay, no worries. So you know 22 verses, mashallah, which again is a very good number. So again, like I told you, brother, keep revising, keep practicing, inshallah, and learn. And the next time when I'll listen, I hope you're on point as well. Okay, Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum. Can I have another student for Hifz practice?
I'm going to call G3626.
G3626, Assalamu alaikum. G3626, Assalamu alaikum.
I can't unmute the mic.
Okay.
I'm going to call G3539.
G3539, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Is this G3539?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Can you start the Hifz practice from the first verse, starting with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان رب المشرقين ورب المغربين فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يخرج منهما اللؤلؤ والمرجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان
وله
الجوار المنشآت في البحر كالأعلام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يخرج من
كل
من عليها فان
yes
فبأي آلاء
ويبقى وجه
ويبقى وجه I don't remember the rest.
that's okay. You know, mashallah, 27 verses, which is again very good. For today, it's the highest that I've heard so far. So inshallah, keep practicing, revising, and learning. And, inshallah, you'll be on point for next class, okay? Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum. Can I have another student for Hifz practice?
I'm going to call 3523.
G3523. Assalamu alaikum. G3523.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Can you start the Hifz practice from verse number 1, beginning with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان رب المشرقين ورب المغربين فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يخرج منهما اللؤلؤ والمرجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان وله الجوار المنشآت في البحر كالأعلام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يسأله من في السماوات والأرض كل يوم هو في شأن فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان جزاك الله.
MashaAllah, very well recited, and 31 verses, which is the most that anyone has recited today, and that's really good. Jazakallah. And again for you, inshallah, hope to see that you'll keep on like you're doing right now. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum. Can I have another student for Hifz, please?
I'm going to call G3597.
G3597. Assalamu alaikum. G3597. Okay, can I have another student?
G3549.
G3549. Assalamu alaikum. G3549.
Walaikum salam.
Is this G3549?
Yes.
That's good. Jazakallah. So can you recite from the beginning, from verse number 1, starting with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان. الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء ورفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان رب المشرقين ورب المغربين فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يخرج منهما اللؤلؤ والمرجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان كل من عليها وله الجوار المنشآت في البحر كالأعلام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان كل من عليها فان ويبقى ربك ذو الجلال ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يسأله من في السماوات والأرض كل يوم هو في شأن فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان سنفرغ لكم أيها الثقلان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان
mashallah, that's on point. Just 1 second. Who is speaking right now? Can the support teacher see if someone
Yes, I've turned the mic off.
Yeah, maybe that's the student that was requested to
Yes.
recite before. So we'll just keep an eye because they can switch it on later. But for G3549, mashallah, you were on point where you knew all the verses till Hifz, verse 33. That's really good. And the good point about you is, mashallah, you recited with proper tajweed and melodious voice. So which is really good. Did it take a long time for you to recite? Okay, G3549, are you there? Okay, we have lost connection, but that's what I wanted to say. The reason in our lessons that we go through different rules of tajweed in focus is because that when you try to memorize new verses or any verse, try to memorize it with the proper tajweed. That will inshallah help you in the future as well, because once you learn something, it's going to stick with you forever until you become adults. Any mistake you learn, You'll remember that and you keep repeating that. But any proper tajweed and melodious voice that you learn, that inshallah is going to help you again till forever. So that's one thing I would like to ask all the students, especially their parents, that when they're trying to teach their children from the beginning, from the start, try to teach them with proper tajweed and melodious voice. Tajweed is more important, and the correct pronunciation is more important. It doesn't matter if it's not a melodious voice, but proper tajweed. So next, can I have another student?
G3626.
G3626, Assalamu alaikum.
I can't find the student now, so we
No
are going
problem.
to have G3568.
G3568568, Assalamu alaikum. G3568, are you there? Okay, can I have another student?
G3519.
G3519, Assalamu alaikum. G3519. Assalamu alaikum. Is this G3519?
Yes.
Okay, Jazakallah.
Can you? I think I called him before, but that was noisy. So
yes,
is it okay
that's
to?
fine. Yeah,
Yeah?
because that was for lesson. So I'll listen to the hifz. That's completely
Okay.
fine, Jazakallah. So G3519, can you start from the first verse of Surah Rahman, starting with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah?
Yes. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ولا تطغوا بالميزان وأقيم الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان
فبأي
آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان
رب
المشرقين ورب المغربين فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يخرج منهما اللؤلؤ والمرجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان What is it?
وله
الجوار المنشآت والبحر كالأعلام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان
كل
كل
كل من
كل عليها فان
Okay, so
ويبقى
I'll just have to stop here. I know you know more than this, but because we are running out of time, then inshallah, I'll listen to further in further classes, okay?
Yes.
Jazakallah. So how many, do you know by heart how many verses you know?
I don't know. I don't know how much was that I learned. I think I learned 31.
Okay, that's really good. Jazakallah. Inshallah, next time we'll give you more chance, okay?
Yes.
Jazakallah, Asal Jaza. So now, because we are running out of time, I'll quickly go through the homework. 1 second. Okay, so the homework, as you know, is revise 1 till 33, and if you can revise 34 as well. And can I have quickly a student for ending prayer?
G3568.
G3568, Assalamu alaikum. G3568, are you there?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Can you just recite this first line for me since we're running out of time? Only the Arabic. Jazakallah.
Okay. Allahumma arhamni bil-Qur'an al-azim.
Jazakallah Ahsanul Jaza. So that was the end of today's class. Inshallah, hope to hear back for you next week. Tomorrow in our next class. Inshallah. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.